Stranger Things Season 5 ending explained. Every twist, reveal, and what it means for the finale. Stranger Things Season 5 delivers its most ambitious, unsettling, and lore-shifting story yet. Volume 1 ends not with relief, but with the gut-punch realization that the war for Hawkins is no longer a metaphor. It is literal, tactical, psychic, and deeply personal. The monsters are evolving, the human world is fracturing, and even the people we believed were saved are far from safe. What Season 5 reveals is that Vecna has not been defeated. He has been preparing. The world of Hawkins after the 18-month time jump looks like a collision between two realities. Cracks crawl along old buildings, vines lace through streets, and glowing rifts flicker in and out like open wounds. Outsiders treat Hawkins as a cursed anomaly, a bizarre disaster zone that refuses to heal. But those who survived seasons 1 through 4 know better. Silence is not peace. It is Vecna inhaling before the next strike. And everyone is preparing. 11 trains harder than she ever has, pushing her abilities into territory she can barely understand. Hopper and Joyce, finally back in their hometown, now carry the grim knowledge that there is no such thing as a happy ending, only a temporary pause. And the original party? Mike, Will, Lucas, Dustin? They've outgrown the delusion that this is another cycle of supernatural chaos. This is war, and the enemy has momentum. Holly Wheeler's abduction, the catalyst of Season 5. Season 5 erupts into motion when Holly Wheeler is abducted during a scouting mission the group simply calls a crawl. They had hoped to locate traces of Vecna's new territory, but instead they find something far worse, a demogorgon that steals Holly with violent precision. But the kidnapping isn't random, and that's what terrifies everyone. Vecna's methods have shifted. Gone are the chaotic visions, the psychological traps, and the broad destruction he once unleashed. Now he chooses his victims with meticulous focus. Holly is not prey, she is a project. And the moment she disappears, the group is forced to face a truth they've been avoiding for years. Vecna hunts with intention. Even more disturbing is the pattern emerging beneath Holly's abduction. This is not about creating gates or building an army of monsters. Vecna is doing something quieter, more calculated, and far more personal. He is selecting minds, not bodies. Eleven's return to the Upside Down and the military's secret. Determined to find Holly, 11 returns to the Upside Down. She expects the hostile landscape she once fought in, but what she finds instead is a secret far more dangerous. The US military has been operating inside the Upside Down, quietly, strategically, and with more knowledge than they should have. And they have Hopper. 11 discovers that Hopper is not trapped by accident. The military has been studying the Upside Down, monitoring Vecna's movements, and worst of all, developing countermeasures against individuals with psychic abilities. What once was a clumsy, frightened government agency now functions like an organized faction preparing for global conflict. The implications are massive. They know powers like 11's exist. They believe those powers can be weaponized. And they have found or created a technology capable of disrupting her abilities entirely. The revelation forces 11 to confront a new kind of enemy, humans who fear her more than they fear monsters. The Upside Down Expedition and the living wall around Hawkins' lab. Meanwhile, Nancy, Steve, Jonathan, and Dustin track a demogorgon through the ruins of the Upside Down. They expect to find nesting grounds or clues to Holly's location, but instead they discover something unprecedented, a massive circular wall of organic material surrounding the remains of Hawkins' lab. This is no ordinary barrier. It pulses. It grows. It behaves like something alive. Dustin pieces together the obvious, but horrifying truth. The Upside Down is not reacting to gates anymore. It is expanding with purpose. The barrier is less a wall and more a womb. Inside, Vecna is building or resurrecting something he needs a controlled environment for. Hawkins' lab, once a site of human experimentation, has become the epicenter of Vecna's new creation. This discovery changes everything. Vecna is not hiding. He is incubating.
It's a bit hard to describe.
Vecna's influence spreads through Hawkins. Back in Hawkins, Mike, Lucas, Will, Robin, Joyce and Murray uncover another disturbing pattern. Other children in town, quiet, anxious, emotionally vulnerable, have begun experiencing symptoms eerily similar to Will's in Season 1. Whispers, nightmares, visions of a man with no face. Vecna's methodology has changed. He no longer preys on physical strength or opportunity. He preys on the emotionally fragile, the overlooked, the lonely. Because empty minds are easier to reshape. And then Will drops the reveal that changes the series forever. His connection to Vecna never ended. Will Byers' powers and the game-changing twist. Will's transformation is the biggest, boldest twist Stranger Things has delivered. During a multi-site Demogorgon attack, Will's pupils turn white. His voice becomes calm, flat, and controlled. Without touching anything, he kills 3 Demogorgons in 3 different locations at once. What emerges is terrifying, not because Will is becoming a villain, but because of what this means for Vecna. Will is not awakening powers like 11 or Callie. He is not a test subject. He is stealing Vecna's power through the psychic bond the villain created. Vecna's hive mind is no longer his weapon alone. It is a network Will can exploit, a vulnerability Vecna inadvertently created years ago when he chose Will as his first vessel. The nosebleed confirms the danger. Will isn't built for this. His body is cracking under the strain, but he keeps pushing because for the first time in the series, Will believes he is not cursed. He is essential.
They belong in mine.
Vecna's real plan revealed. Why Holly matters. Volume 1 finally answers a question fans have debated for years. Why did Vecna choose Will in Season 1? It was not random. Vecna originally targeted Will because he was emotionally isolated, sensitive, and easy to influence. Will escaped, but Vecna learned something from the failure. That failure became the blueprint. Now he is selecting children, including Holly, who exhibit the same psychological traits. To them, he appears as Mr. Watson, a harmless, comforting figure designed to gain their trust. But this is no hallucination. It is grooming. It is training. Vecna is reshaping these minds so he can use human consciousness as the scaffolding for altering reality itself. The mindscape is not merely his domain. It is a factory. The return of Callie and the military's psychic weapon. The military storyline escalates dramatically when Callie, 8, returns. Her shaved head, vacant expression, and restrained posture make one thing clear. She is a prisoner, not an ally. The military experimented on her abilities, likely reverse engineering her hallucinations to create a device that produces a psychic disrupting sound wave. The weapon is the closest thing the series has introduced to a kryptonite for people like 11. The power struggle now has 3 sides. Vecna 11 and the Hawkins group, the military, and their newly forged anti-psychic arsenal. All 3 have conflicting goals, and none of them trust each other.
Hello, Max.
Max Mayfield's shocking survival and the Mindscape maze. Max's storyline is one of the most emotional reveals of Season 5. Though her physical body remains comatose, her consciousness is alive inside Vecna's mind. She describes waking in the Rainbow Room after her death, only to realize that she is trapped inside Henry Creel's mental architecture. But not everything in the Mindscape belongs to Vecna. Max discovers areas even he refuses to enter, places built from memories 11 used to save her. These pockets of safety prove that the Mindscape is layered and flawed. Vecna may control much of it, but he does not control all of it. When Holly appears inside the Mindscape, the possibilities shift dramatically. Max is no longer trapped alone, and together, they might be capable of something that no one has done before, escaping the Mindscape from within. What the ending means for the final battle. By the end of Volume 1, the storylines converge into a single terrifying truth. Vecna is orchestrating a psychic reconstruction of reality using human minds. The military is preparing for a world where powered individuals are considered threats. Will has become both a weapon and Vecna's greatest liability. 11 is evolving, but she is no longer the only force capable of shaping the battlefield. And Max, alive within the mindscape, represents the first crack in Vecna's psychological fortress. Season 5 ends with the war split into 3 fronts, each more unpredictable than the last. Vecna grows stronger. The military grows bolder, and Hawkins grows darker. The battle for reality has begun.
Watch out!